Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, drug dogs find $6 million worth of hard drugs. Illegal fishing continues despite ban. And 70% of chiefly positions vacant.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Many villages in Fiji earn hundreds of dollars from exporters by breaking the ban on harvesting and selling beach demurn live coral. Fisheries Minister Semi Koroila-Visao says there are also reports on the continuing use of underwater breathing apparatus, which have resulted in many fatalities in the past. Kelly Vadala reports.
Reports have been received of people breaking the ban in several ways, including the illegal use of UBAs to harvest beach demur and gather live coral.
If you continue to harvest at this rate, future generation will be deprived of what you enjoy now. They don't want to hear that. To them, it is basically the short-term benefit that they get from providing the export quota to the exporters is the major attraction for them.
Koroila-Visao says they've also identified where these illegal activities are underway and they plan to clamp down on them.
The northwestern part of Nolimu and in the north around Mavuata and Mbua areas, because there's a lot of empty pockets, isolated pockets there.
Many fishermen say the bans from the ministry are timely as some ocean resources become scarce.
Having all these bans is a good thing because we don't want to run out of the marine resources we have in the ocean.
The ban is it's like for the coral, it's okay, because that's where the fish sleep.
I think the ban is good as we try to sustain our live coral and beach demurs, but on the other side, people who depend on this for income are affected.
The Fisheries Ministry says people need to understand that the bans are in place to ensure live corals and beach demur grow back to sustainable levels for future generations. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
13 cases of hard drugs worth over $6 million were seized by the Detector Dog Unit in just the first 6 months of its operation. These seizures were made at the Nandi International Airport. Ana Ravulo reports following the successful operation of the unit in Nandi, the police force is expanding the services at the Nausori International Airport as well.
Imported dogs from New Zealand and Australia have been instrumental with more than 35 seizures of drugs, cash and weapons.
The dogs have also detected illicit cash movements, including one instance of 99,000 Fijian dollars of undeclared currency. Deterring prospective money launderers from using Fiji as a channel for their illicit funds is no less important than deterring drug traffickers.
With the new unit in Suva, more seizures are expected to be conducted.
So you've got a 24/7 coverage in both Nandi and Suva. And one of the key reasons also that it's important to have these teams in Fiji is it also gives us regional security throughout the Pacific region.
We certainly appreciate the work that the High Commission, the New Zealand Customs and New Zealand Police has put in behind the scenes in order to ensure the Fiji Detector Dog program is a success. And a resounding success it has been.
The dogs have been trained to detect narcotics, cash and firearms, provide protection at the border and enhance security within the community. Ana Ravulo, FBC News.
The turnaround time to solve cases brought before the Magistrates Court has improved significantly. Previously, the courts used to take 40 months or more than 3 years to deliver a verdict on a case. Rachel Nath reports the improvement is due to increase in manpower and resources.
Speaking before the Public Accounts Committee earlier today, the Chief Register highlighted the delays in cases were due to a number of factors.
Cases, it might be because of the non-availability of the accused persons. In some of the cases, it can be due to witnesses, if they cannot locate the witness. In certain cases, people do make requests to the court that they need to get overseas treatment, and they are not fit to be there. So the magistrates, they normally allow them to travel and to come back and then to have hearings. So
Committee Chair Ashnil Sudhakar says the issue of backlogs of cases has been improved through innovative ideas.
We used to have 23 magistrates. We now have 32 magistrates, including the chief magistrate who also hears cases. So the officers, court officers, the magistrates have increased. The internal systems have been improved in terms of case management.
The Chief Register says more efforts are needed to further improve the current turnaround time.
Requested for an increase because we need to increase magistrates in certain areas, like in Bar. We need at least 2 or 3 magistrates, but currently we only have 1 magistrate sitting there.
There are 36 magistrates' courts around the country handling civil, criminal, traffic, inquest and juvenile cases. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Around 70% of the chiefly positions in Fiji remain vacant. Permanent Secretary for Itaukei Affairs Naipote Katonitambua says one main reason is that many of these positions are being disputed, and the ministry now aims to persuade the Vanua to come to an agreement. Ali Kimbia with the story.
In an effort to give the Vanua and its people the privilege they deserve, the Ministry of Itaukei Affairs is working towards filling vacant chiefly titles this year.
We are glad that in our first quarter of this financial year, which is from August to October, we had filled 63 chiefly positions. These are Turani Abusa and Turani Matangali.
Katonitambua says they will continue to work with villages through their road shows to assist them in appointing their chiefs.
We will continue to do that in the second quarter or in the next financial year. So this is something that has been ongoing within the ministry.
For the Itaukei people, selecting a good visionary leader will enable a better Vanua and a better Fiji for tomorrow.
Firstly, why they should select a chief is because of the protection of its people in village. Laws should also be followed.
My opinion is that all chiefs' positions should be filled. It should not be vacant because these are people and villages who rely on them.
The Itaukei Affairs will continue their consultations to try and resolve those chiefly positions that are disputed. The chiefs are final decision makers in any Vanua. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
A heavy rain alert is now in force for Vanua Levu, eastern parts of Viti Levu, Taveuni and nearby smaller islands, the Lau and Lomaiviti groups. The Fiji Meteorology Office says the alert may be upgraded to a warning depending on the situation in the next 12 to 24 hours. A trough of low pressure is moving westward over Fiji, therefore wet conditions can be anticipated over most places with isolated heavy rainfall and localized heavy rainfall that may lead to flash flooding and flooding of low-lying areas. Still to come, assessors find grandfather guilty of rape, and FNCDP focuses on decentralizing services. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Lomaiviti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 and Lomaiviti.
Kaya kuyaga sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali tagi yang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 and Lomaiviti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Lomaiviti na bonga ni BNN.
3 High Court assessors have found a 65-year-old man guilty of 2 counts of sexual assault and 1 count of rape. It is alleged the man committed the offences between January 2012 and December 2014 in Asinu. The court heard the victim was his 7-year-old granddaughter residing with her grandparents. Suva High Court Judge Justice Vincent Pereira will deliver his verdict tomorrow. The accused has been remanded in custody. The Fiji National Council for Disabled Persons is focused on decentralizing its services. Executive Director Dr. Sitivenu Yanuyanutawa says while this has always been part of their strategy, there is more emphasis now following the release of census results. Maggie Boyle reports.
According to the census results, Fijians with some form of disability make up 13.7% of the population. Given the data and their long-term strategy, FNCDP is stepping up efforts to ensure their services are more accessible.
The setting up of the disability center in the west. So we've already got the one in the north, in Lambasa. And the way we decentralize the services to be able to cover persons with disability in all the 4 divisions in Fiji.
Dr. Yanuyanutawa says a survey conducted by them in 2009 estimated persons with disabilities at just over 11,000.
We've highlighted now that the number of persons with disabilities are increasing, whether they are physically challenged or whether they are psychologically challenged. But at the end of the day, they they are as people who have been challenged functionally. Their functions have been challenged, and they need the assistance of people around them.
We asked a few people if they thought there were enough services and facilities for persons with disabilities.
No. For disabilities victims, they don't have easy access to transportation.
Not enough because this country is so many populations, and we need more.
To increase the fund required for people living with disabilities in Fiji.
With more than $1 million allocated to FNCDP in the last budget, given these new numbers of persons with a disability, more resources will be required. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The first ever regional training of Pacific Food Security Cluster coordinators concluded in Nadi today. The training is important to Fiji as we are always vulnerable to natural disasters. Felipe Nakaso has more.
Preparing for and responding to natural disasters with strong leadership in a coordinated and timely manner is one of the major themes that was discussed at this first ever training.
One of the things that we've learned in this training is prior planning, in prior information gathering, prior organization. In terms of the resources that need to be mobilized during disaster is very important.
This training provided a real situation scenario with participants coming up with ideas of how to deal with food security issues.
The Ministry of Agriculture is leader of the food security cluster in Fiji. It has the mandate to address food security needs.
Our attendance gives more opportunity to us to put focus on mapping out our priorities, key areas where we can focus on the vulnerable groups.
The interactive technical sessions provided participants with information on disaster preparedness and resilience, needs assessments and early recovery. Felipe Nakaso, FBC News.
Bollywood dancer, performer and choreographer Rishi Sharma and his group are in the country to entertain Fijians as part of the Namaste Pacifica show. Sharma was a top 12 finalist in the international dance reality TV show So You Think You Can Dance in India. The group will host their first show at Novotel Hotel in Lamy tomorrow.
It's a Bollywood musical. It is 1 hour, 10 minutes of just full-on masti masala and lots of Bollywood songs and lots of like ups and downs of emotions. Yeah, so it's like this full-on Bollywood musical. Roller coaster, yes, like you said.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, flying Fijians halfback Serupepeli Vularika ready to make a comeback, but we now join Rachel for the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Filmmaking booming in Fiji. And in growing Fiji, FNU embarks on major development projects. Stay with us.
Moala ranalika, o tikongona taon na Singapore, ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM, number 2 na series.
Ya dora subuli kurna bili. Iborani bat sekarang hambara binaranga. Total takinal na warrongan ng Bula FM. Number 2 en serie. Bula!
Bula FM, number 2 en serie.
Leading business tonight, 74 film productions were shot in Fiji last year with a budget of over $300 million. According to Film Fiji, of this amount, $125 million was spent directly into the Fijian economy. Kelly Vidal reports.
The local film industry is booming as 17 more productions were shot in different locations around the country. In 2016, a total of 57 productions were shot here.
There are not as many places we can go for lots of reasons. The economy, population, political unrest, weather patterns. Fiji offers us everything that we want.
Popular reality TV show Survivor US continued for another year, and host Jeff Prost says it has attracted more than 130 million viewers worldwide. Other productions were from India, Australia and Europe, including France. Fiji's unique scenery, especially in the Azores and Mamanuca Islands, have been a popular choice.
We actually have decent accommodations to do this show out in the jungle. It's a win-win-win. There is nowhere to go. This is our home. I hope we end our show here.
Fijians have welcomed this initiative, saying it is for the betterment of our economy.
I think it will benefit the country as a whole, and especially the local people. I think it's good to come and learn about the culture.
It actually contributes to our economy. I think it's great.
Meanwhile, 7 major productions have received approval from Film Fiji for this year. Kelly Pathala, FBC News.
And we now join Sean from HFC Bank with the latest from the trading world.
Thank you. Let's see what's making headlines in the financial markets today. The US dollar extended its recent weakness against a basket of major currencies to hit a fresh 3-year low. This comes after the release of mixed economic data this morning. Meanwhile, New Zealand's inflation rate rose slower than expected in the fourth quarter of 2017. The consumer price index posted annual growth of 1.6% below the 1.9% expected. Meanwhile, the Aussie dollar made hefty gains. Traders will now be focused on the euro as the European Central Bank releases its interest rate decision overnight. So let's see what direction the euro takes tomorrow morning. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Looking at today's current exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. The Fiji dollar rose against the US dollar, the Chinese yuan and the PNG kina. As for the commodities market, oil prices closed at $66.22 a barrel. Gold rose to close at $1,356 an ounce, and silver followed suit, closing at $17.49 an ounce. And in Goin, Fiji tonight, major renovations and constructions will be carried out at the Fiji National University campus around the country. The Vice-Chancellor says this will enable the university to lift its services provided to the students. Catherine Krishna with the details.
The 2018 academic year will be a busy one for FNU as the university will embark on its major development plans.
So it's 51 million in 2018 on new buildings and 9 million on upgrade of existing facilities. So if you go around this campus, you'll see, and this is one of our oldest campuses, you'll see quite a lot of building work underway.
An animal hospital, new labs and livestock shed will be constructed at the university's Coronavia campus. New buildings will also be constructed at the Fiji Maritime Academy, and there will be a new creative arts building, new business school and a new gymnasium at the Nasinu campus.
The Lambasa project to build a new campus in the north. We are about to sign the contract. We're just finalising the contract today with a view to signing before the end of the month, and we expect construction to start, and that will be a new state-of-the-art campus just outside Lambasa town centre on the other side of the bridge.
The Vice-Chancellor says the Lautoka campus now has a 670-seater lecture theatre, the largest in Fiji. Construction on a new campus in the north will also begin soon. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
And that's business for this evening. Join Jeremy now with the latest in sports.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening in sports tonight. Ben Ryan adamant despite FRU refuting his claims. And 2 new clubs from Bull FM Maras Volleyball Tournament. Details after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुपु रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टोटो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
The Fiji Rugby Union has refuted claims from former Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan in regards to its costs to bid for World Rugby 7 Series leg, saying it has been greatly exaggerated and is not factual. Ryan has made claims on social media that overseas consultants have asked for a budget of $1 million to put together the bid. Vasnil Prasad reports.
The Fiji Rugby Union in a statement says they note Ben Ryan's opinion and is fully aware of his views since FRU has sought his support for the bid in August last year. The FRU says Ryan has declined this prior to FRU making the decision to proceed with the bid. In the statement, it also says this is the first attempt to bid to host a World Rugby 7 Series leg in the home of Sevens Rugby, and FRU is committed to the bid. The FRU says they will do all they can to bring home a leg of the World 7 Series and prove to the world that Fiji can run such a global event successfully. In addition to this, FRU says all costs associated with the promotion of the bid on television and radio stations have been met by the respective media companies. The FRU has also thanked all the organization and Fijians who have signed up their support for the bid. The FRU has also urged all Fijians to continue to support their bid since hosting a global event will not only benefit rugby but all Fijians and more importantly the country. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Ben Ryan still stands by his claim that the FRU will be spending $1 million on their bid for the World Rugby 7 Series tournament. FBC Sports contacted Ryan this morning following FRU's statement that Ryan's figures were greatly exaggerated and not factual. But Ryan maintains his figures are not wrong. FBC Sports also asked Ryan why he declined to join Fiji's bidding team, to which he replied FRU's bid team leader Brian Thorburn had asked to meet him, but he thought their views on what is needed were different and cited the Sevens leg as an example. Still with the story, in his initial social media statement, Ben Ryan also claimed money is being wasted paying for radio advertisements for the World Series bid. However, the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation has confirmed the advertisements are running free of charge on all its 6 radio stations and on FBC TV as well. FBC Director Sales and Marketing Vijen Kumar says, being the #1 media company in the country, FBC is fully supportive of FRU and its bid.
FBC being the national broadcaster and with our corporate social responsibility, whenever there's a national interest and there's awareness that needs to be reaching all Fijians in Fiji, we have given FRU TV and radio sports free of charge as we support FRU's bid for the World Rugby 7 Series to be held in Fiji in 2020.
Meanwhile, Communications Fiji Limited General Manager Ian Jackson says they are also supporting the bid and there is no money exchange between CFL and the FRU. The New Zealand men's 7 side had an incredible start to the World Series this season, winning their first series title since 2016 in Cape Town last month. Pooled with Fiji in Sydney this weekend, its 12-member tournament team includes Fijians Luke Masirewa, Vilimoni Koroi and Joe Ravovo. Captain Scott Curry says the team has done a lot of hard work in the pre-season and are ready to bag another title.
We can definitely get better when it comes to our rugby. I think our culture and all that sort of stuff off the field has been going really well and been driving our results.
The England men's 7s and women's 7s team have been training together for the Sydney tournament. Head coach Simon Amor believes the unconventional move has a lot of benefits for both teams.
It's the first time, I believe, any programme has had a full integration of the men's and women's. And it's been a great experience because it really challenges the thinking of both the men's and the women's players, not just about in sevens where they're seeing space and how they attack space, but understanding the people they're playing with and playing against.
Meanwhile, the Australian sevens team hopes to take full advantage of the weather in Sydney as they prepare for its home tournament. Aussie captain Lewis Holland says they've been training in the blistering sun for the past few months. And now with the temperature in Sydney forecasted for 27 degrees when the game kicks off tomorrow, Holland believes they'll have somewhat of an added advantage.
A little bit of an uphill advantage because of the weather and the climate that we've been training in, so hopefully that pays for us later on down the track.
Flying Fijian halfback Sirupepeli Vularika has recovered from injury and makes his return to prepare for the Brisbane Global Tens competition. Luciana Tangidakambao caught up with Vularika training earlier today and filed this report.
The young talented player featured in 3 different teams that represented Fiji on the international stage.
It's been 5 months that I've been injured, so I've been doing my training and rehab because of my wrist. Yeah, I'm going to prepare for this tens.
Sirupepeli Vularika says he wants to make up to the lost time and will work hard to represent Fiji.
Yeah, I just play once. For the provincials, I didn't make the series. I missed the whole because of injury. I think this year I will try to play all the provincial games and then draw. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Fiji under-20 former rep Tuvere Vungakoto says making it to the extended squad has boosted his morale.
The dream of us Fijians growing up to be part of the big extended squad. So for me, I think it's a big up for me since getting out from the under-20s and straight into the national 10 squad is a big achievement for me.
The 33-member extended squad marched into camp earlier today. The final 15 players will be named this weekend. Luciana Tangidakimbao, FBC Sports.
2 new clubs have registered to take part in the Mbula FM Marist Volleyball Tournament. Valilevu Hood and Vicinda Knights are looking forward to their debuts at the tournament that begins tomorrow. Luciana Tangidakimbao reports.
The countdown to the much talked about Marist tournament has begun, and newly formed club Valilevu Hood says they are eagerly awaiting for the new experience.
The brotherhood and sisterhood team, this is our first time for Marist. Well, our expectations is just to get through and develop the young talents that we have here in the Valilevu community.
Sisterhood women's coach Meme Wangavuka says they are impressed with the support so far.
Support from family and friends, especially as a community in Valilevu, has been overwhelming. It's been really good.
Meanwhile, neighboring team, the Vicinda Knights, will also participate in the tournament for the first time.
This Vicinda Kings Volleyball Club has been preparing for this Marist tournament. We've been preparing for the past 4 weeks now. As a coach, I believe total improvement from the young team, most of which are consisted of unemployed youths from around Vicinda and Dombati. And yes, I believe we are ready for the upcoming Marist Volleyball Tournament.
The 32 men's and women's team will participate in the Mbula FM Marist tournament from tomorrow. The 2 days tournament will be held at Suvas Vodafone Arena. Luciana Tangidakimbao, FBC Sports.
Basketball Fiji has announced 2 new coaches to guide the national boys and girls under 15 teams at this year's December FIBA Oceania tournament in Papua New Guinea. William Peter and Fiji rep Sanimba Nuve have taken the challenge to lead the youngsters. The basketball season starts in March when player recruitment will begin.
A great responsibility. It's an honor to be able to coach a national team, regardless of what the age grade is. Yeah, it's a big step in the right direction for Fiji. We're trying to make our way up to Australia and New Zealand's level again.
The Fiji women's and men's beach volleyball teams have been drawn in a tough pool for the Commonwealth Games. The national women's side is pooled with England, Canada and Trinidad and Tobago, while the men's team is grouped with Australia, Trinidad and Tobago and St. Kitts and Nevis, which is an island country in the West Indies. Defending tennis champion Roger Federer reached his 14th Australian Open semi-final with a straight-set victory over Thomas Berdych. The 36-year-old will face Hyung Chung of South Korea, while Britain's Kyle Edmund faces Marin Cilic. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
Roger Federer doesn't know a lot about Hyung Chung, but has seen similarities to Novak Djokovic to know he will be a fierce adversary in the Australian Open semi-final.
He's incredibly impressive in his movement. Reminds me obviously a lot of Novak, the way he's able to slide forehand and backhand and use the hard court as a clay court and get balls back and stay aggressive in defense. So I'm really excited to play against him. He's clearly got nothing to lose. I will tell myself the same and we'll see what happens.
21-year-old Chung knows how tough it is to face the defending champion, especially competing for the first time in the international event.
Trying to stay focused because I'm first time in 1 o'clock matches, so I'm just trying to keep focused.
Meanwhile, Simona Halep is wary of her opponent and defending champion Angelique Kerber.
A very difficult one because she's moving very well. She's returning many balls back, so I have just to be ready to try to finish the points and to be aggressive.
The first semi-final will begin today and the final to be played on Sunday. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
And in today's Play of the Day, more interesting things continue to happen at the Australian Open. This time, Australian Sam Groth obliterating his racket, and he and Leighton Hewitt lost the Colombian duo Juan Sebastian Cabal and Robert Farah in the doubles quarterfinals. Groth also announced his retirement from tennis following the match.
Oh no, it was the double fault that undid them. There goes Groth's racket.
Correlation racket debuts, no point half-heartedly just cracking the racket. The team has been outstanding all day, and that is an outstanding racket throw. That's 9 out of 10.
Well, given the fact that he may not be needing rackets after the next game.
I'm deducting 1 point because he didn't quite get the handle to snap in half off it.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Join Angie later on with weather and in new media. The yet-to-be-released iOS update to pack a number of new and improved features. Details after the break.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo sekolah untuk talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kena domoy viti.
Kaya kuyazo silil tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita jadi ang gitu Venezuela pun nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 nandomoy viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandomoy viti na bonga ni BNN.
The next iOS update for iPhones and iPads includes new augmented reality experiences, better controls to monitor battery health, and of course more Animoji. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Beautiful weather scenario around the country. All the mugginess was washed away by afternoon showers. Just a heads up on weather for the upcoming days. There is a heavy rain alert for Fiji, so let's be prepared for that. Checking out the west for today, super scorchy and light showers are likely. Eastwards from Pekapa to Suva, sunshine was beautiful but rain overtook and cooled things down. More rain is in store for tonight. And up north, much the same. Expect rainy conditions for later tonight as well. At sea, east to northeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide tomorrow morning will be at 1:21 with low tide at 7:14. Sunrise will be at 5:53. For tomorrow, a change in the weather pattern. There is rain in the forecast which could get heavier. Tomorrow's temps, majority of the centers will be cool in the lower 30 degrees. And looking further on to Saturday, it looks like a wet weekend. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, do you think every government ministry should have a helpline to lodge queries and complaints?
I think there should be telephone callers to the people so that people have problems which they can call.
I think every ministry should have a helpline so that people can know where to complain.
Yes, they should. So it's easy for us to complain.
Oh yes, they should have a helpline for the people, because most of the people, they have most of the difficulties and they don't know where to go, whom to talk.
Virtual reality allows the user to enter a different world through sight and sound. Now researchers are adding a sense of touch to the experience, making the virtual world seem even more real. Recapping the main stories, drug dogs find $6 million worth of hard drugs, 70% of chiefly possessions vacant, and FRU refutes Ben Ryan's claims on Seven's bid. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Top poll question this week we are asking, can the Fiji Sevens team win its first ever Sydney title this weekend? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day sent in by Natasha Nund. A beautiful sunset-lit sky in Savasavu captured from the Market foreshore overlooking Naui Island. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Wrong on the radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo sekolah untuk talita na radio Fiji 1 kena Domoy Viti.
Kaya ako sila tali. Naguraramay na umani. Nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela nagudurong. Barong na radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na ponga ni BNN.